Tell me, and I forgot. Teach me, and I remember. Involve me, and I learn. An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Gusties like fish began to smell after 3 days. Some people lied at 25 and aren't purged until 75. By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. We must indeed all hang together, or most assuredly we shall all hang separately. Three can keep a secret if two of them are dead. Without continual growth and progress, such words as improvement, achievement, and success have no meaning. Life's tragedy is that we get old too soon and wise too late. It takes many good deeds to build a good reputation and only one bad one to lose it. Early to bed and early to rise make a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. Either write something worth reading or do something worth writing. Never leave that still tomorrow which you can do today. Energy and persistence conquer all things. Whatever is begun in angry ends in shame. In this world, nothing can be said to be certain except that and exists. When is constant proof that God loves us and loves to see us happy. They who can give up essential liberty to obtain a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. Those who love life then do not squander time, for that is the stuff life is made of. He who fails in love with himself will have no rivals. He that is good for making excuses is seldom good for anything else. At 20 years of age, the will regains. At 30, the waits, and at 40, the judgment. Remember not only to say the right thing in the right place, but far more difficult still to leave unsaid the wrong thing at the tempting moment. Wise men don't need advice, fools won't take it. Many a man think he is busy pleasure when he is really selling himself to it. When you are finished changing, you are finished. A house is not a home unless it contains food and fire for the mind as well as the body. Rather go to bed without dinner than to rise in debate. There are three things extremely hard: steal a diamond and to know oneself. Hide not your talents, they for use were made. What's essential in the shade? Keep your eyes wide open before marriage, half shut afterward. The Constitution only gives people the right to pursue happiness. You have to catch it yourself. If passion drive you, let reason hold the reins. It is the working man who is the happy man. It is the idle man who is the miserable man. Money has never made man happy, nor will it. There is nothing in its nature to produce happiness. The more of it one has, the more one wants. The woman who wants the most sex is the one who often yearns for a deeper sense of intimacy, yet may struggle to find it through physical means alone. To succeed, jump as quickly at opportunities as you do at conclusion. Without freedom of thought, there can be no such thing as wisdom, and no such thing as public liberty without freedom of speech. Be at war with your vice, at peace with your neighbor, and let every new year find you a better man. Don't throw stone at your neighbor if your own window are glasses. So convenient a thing it is to be a reasonable creature, since it enables one to find or make a reason for everything one has a mind to do. From a child, I was fond of reading, and all the little money that came into my hands was ever laid out in books, plays with the Pilgrim's Process. My first collection was of John Bunyan's work in separate little volumes. A learned blockhead is a greater blockhead than an ignorant one. When befriended, remember it. When you befriend, forget it. Tomorrow, every flute is to be amended, but the tomorrow never comes. There cannot be a stronger nature, right, than that of a man's making the best profit he can of the natural produce of his land. Law to gentle are seldom obeyed, to serve seldom execute. When the man and woman die, as poet sung, his heart's the last part moves, her last the tongue. All who think cannot but see there is a sensation like that of a religion which binds us in partnership in the serious work of the world. Those who grow when having much business on their hand do not generally like to take the trouble of considering and carrying into execution new projects. The best public measures are therefore seldom adopted from previous wisdom but forced by the occasion. Do good to your friends, to keep them, to your enemies, to win them. It is the eyes of other people that run us. If I were blind, I would want neither fine clothes, neither houses, nor fine furniture. The worst wheel of the cart makes the most noise. I saw few die of hunger, of eating 100,000. I guess I don't so much mind being old as I mind being fat and old. He that waits upon fortune is never sure of dinner. Those disputing, contradicting, and confuting people are generally unfortunate in the affairs. They get victory sometime, but they never get goodwill, which would be of more use to them. Wealth is not his that has it, but his enjoys it. Every piece may be purchased at too high a price. When the well is dry, they know the worth of water. Troubles spring from idleness and grievous toil from needless its wars are not paid for in wartime. The bill comes later. If you would know the value of money, go and try to borrow some. And whether you are an honest man or whether you are a thief depends on whose solicitor has given me my brief. If you know how to spend less than you get, you have the philosopher's stone. For having lived long, I have experienced many instances of being obliged by better information or fuller consideration to change opinion, even on important subject which I once thought right but found to be otherwise. In general, mankind, since the improvement of crockery, it wins as much as nature requires. As we enjoy great advantage from the invention of others, we should be glad of an opportunity to serve others by any invention of ours, and this we should do freely and generously. All mankind is divided into three classes: those that are immovable, those are movable, and those are moved. It is only when the rich are sick that they fully feel the importance of wealth. In my youth, I traveled much, and I observed in different countries that the more public provisions were made for the poor, the less they provided for themselves, and of course become poorer. And on the contrary, the less was done for them, the more they did for themselves and become richer. No nation was ever run by trade. It is a grand mistake to think of being great without goodness, and I pronounce it as certain that there was never a truly great man that was not at the same time truly victorious. Since thou art not sure of a minute, throw not away an hour. Gain may be temporary and uncertain, but ever will you live. Expenses is constant and certain, and it is easier to build two chimneys than to keep one in fuel. He does not possess wealth, he possesses him. As we must account for every idle word, so much we account for every idle silence. I should have no objection to go over the same life from its beginning to the end, requesting only the advantage others have no correcting in a second edition the fault of the first. It is much easier to suppressing a first desire than the safety those that follow. In reality, there is perhaps no one of our natural passions so hard to subdue as pride. In the affairs of this world, men are saved not by faith, but by the want of it. God grant that not only the law of liberty, but a true knowledge of the rights of man may pervade all the nations of the earth, so that a philosopher may set his foot anywhere on his suffer and say, "This is my country." He that has done you a kindness will be more ready to do you another than he whom you yourself have obliged. The doorstep to the temple of wisdom is a knowledge of your own ignorance. Human felicity is produced not as much by great pieces of good fortune that seldom happen as my little advantage that occurred every day. I conceive that the great part of the misers of mankind are brought upon them by false estimates they have made of the value of things. He that raises a large family does indeed while he lives to observe them stand a border mark for sorrow, but then he stands a border mark of pleasure too. We are more thoroughly an elegant people with respect to our political interests than perhaps any other underhaver. Every man among us rich and is so easy in his circumstances as to have leisure for conversation of improvement and for acquiring information. Do good to your friends to keep them, to your enemies to win them. I look upon that to be as necessary to our constitution as sleep. We shall rise refreshed in the morning.